First record is by a band called Charlottefield, who I've mentioned quite a lot recently and on my social media as well. This is the album, How Long Are You Staying? I bought this record, well, it was probably well over 10 years ago, because they broke up around 2007, I think. So yeah, but for me they were really influential early on for me as a musician and a drummer, because that was kind of my sort of formative years, and I got to see them live a few times. They actually stayed in this house after a gig they played in Wigan, and also my old house in Salford, they stayed there as well. Yeah, and the drummer as well, Ashley Marlowe, he was like, I kind of really idolised him. He's just incredible drummer, you know, amazing technique. Just seems to fit perfectly into their sound. You know, it's like this really kind of discordant, kind of chromatic, math rocky kind of guitars and screaming, kind of punky screaming vocals. You know, bouncing off this like funky rock drummer. It's like you know, it doesn't seem like it would work, but it just works beautifully as a whole sound. And obviously, and seeing them live, they were just incredible live. Just so, you know, just like they just put the heart and soul into every performance. That's how it seemed to me anyway. It was just like really intense and powerful. So yeah, that's the first record really that changed my life. It made me fall in love with music. It made me want to really give playing drums and being in bands and everything a proper go. So yeah, massive influence for me. Second record that changed my life, it was a different kind of impact. This was a kind of around a period of my life where I'd just gone through a very toxic relationship, and it was kind of post toxic relationship breakup. And yeah, this album is by an American electronic musician who goes by the name of Baths. It's just a solo guy, a bit like Fortet and Caribou. And the album was his debut studio album. It was called Cerulean. And yeah, it just it really connected with me on a very deep level, and it kind of gave me some hope. You know, when my sort of self-esteem and confidence was shattered, it just it kind of touched me and connected with me in that period of my life when I needed something to kind of hang on to. So yeah, this album was really impactful. I guess, I don't know, I wouldn't say like it didn't change my life, it just had a lot of meaning, and it you know, it was very important to me during a very difficult period in my life. Yeah, so that's yeah, it's called Cerulean by Baths. Third record that changed my life is by a Canadian electronic musician, goes by the name of Tim Hecker. This was also a debut studio album. It was released in 2001. The album was called Haunt Me. If you're not familiar with Tim Hecker, I'd say his sound is kind of like ambient soundscapes, almost kind of bordering on the kind of film score side. But for me, yeah, this album more recently had a big impact on my life. I've struggled for a long time with depression and anxiety, and you know, I've been on the brink a few times, and I think over the summer last year, 2020, obviously with lockdown as well, I spent a lot of time just walking around nature and stuff, like my local park and stuff, and listening to this album, and it just felt, it kind of feels like you know, you're kind of alone, but the music is kind of your companion through that darkness. That's how it feels to me when I'm listening to it. You know, I feel like I'm kind of connecting, which is something, is kind of like the biggest kind of thing that you don't have when you're in a depression is you feel disconnected from everything and everyone. So listen to this music, walking through nature, this record. I felt I was connecting, which, you know, is only a good thing when you're going through something like that. So I'd say another kind of album that I wouldn't say changed my life, but has been really important and really helpful. I guess kind of like therapeutic. It's helped me with my struggles with depression. So yeah, that's my third record.